So what is a blooming tea? A blooming tea is a handcrafted tea, usually made from green or white tea and the buds of certain flowers. Those flowers usually are chrysanthemum, lily, hibiscus, sometimes marigold, rose, jasmine, osmanthus. It's a wide variety. But what they're doing with these crafted teas is making a piece of artwork. So the history behind where these came from is rather debated. Everybody seems to agree they originated in the Yunnan Province of China. Now, what is debated is whether these existed as far back as the Song Dynasty. So the Song Dynasty ran from 960 to 1279 CE, and that is really where tea took off in Chinese culture. And there is documentation from the dynasty showing flowers and tea stitched together and presented to the emperor as something of a centerpiece. Now, whether it was brewed the same way our current blooming teas are is a totally different story. But generally speaking, what we see today came really into the marketplace heavily in the 1980s. And the way it is made is just after the withering step of the tea. The tea leaves are very flexible. They will also wither the flowers and then gather them together and stitch them with a cotton yarn, specifically making little knots inside of the ball to give places for air pockets. And so that way, after the ball is molded into the shape that you may be given, usually like a sphere, maybe a mushroom shape, when it goes to brew, there's a place for the water to enter and allow the entire structure to get wet and saturate, and at the same time cause that ball to open up into the beautiful flower arrangement that you get to enjoy. So to brew one of these, you're going to want to know what that outside tea is on the ball, because they can absolutely use black tea, but more commonly you're going to see green or white. So you're going to want a water temperature somewhere between 175 and 190 degrees. Now you are going to have to be a little bit patient. These molded teas take longer to brew, usually more like 5 to 8 minutes. Keep in mind that the bulk of the presentation is actually going to be those flower petals and not tea. Tea usually just acts as the leaves to the presentation, or like the base. You also probably want to know that the tea leaves that are used in the blooming teas are older. They've been on the plant longer, partially because that makes them stronger and more pliable and capable of withstanding being sown. And so the flavor on these teas is very floral as opposed to tea-like, and it might be slightly stronger than what you're typically used to. But the goal of these teas isn't so much flavor as it is the artwork, and to appreciate and take the time to stop and almost smell the flowers. And so as you brew these teas, keep in mind you're going to want to give them plenty of room in a pot. The pot needs, for your own benefit, to be glass so you can watch the beautiful presentation. And last but not least, don't throw away your bloom when you're finished drinking your pot of tea. Put it into a vase wide enough to allow it to be fully open. Fill it with cold water and 2 tablespoons of vinegar. And you're going to be surprised. That bloom will stay in good shape for about 5 to 7 days. And if you empty out the water each day, because you're going to watch it oxidize and brew, you'll be able to keep that bloom for almost a week to 2, just using the vinegar as a preservative. And so think of this as a fun way to entertain your guests. Think of it as a possible nice centerpiece for a table, and enjoy what is a truly unique piece of art from the tea industry.
We hope you enjoyed learning more about tea with us. Hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when we add more videos to our channel. And check out the highlighted videos to learn even more about tea. And last but not least, you can check out all of the teas we talk about in our videos at dominiontea.com.